Siren in the underground. I have always been fascinated by forgotten places, those hidden corners of the city where time seems to have stopped, where lost stories pile up on the walls and silence feels almost tangible. So when I heard about the old abandoned subway station, I couldn't resist. They said it was closed after a mysterious accident decades ago, and no one dared to go down there anymore. But I had to see it with my own eyes. It was a cold autumn night. The wind cut through the empty streets, and the sky was overcast, hiding the stars. With a flashlight, an old camera, and my phone for emergencies, I entered through the side entrance, a rusty little door that creaked loudly when I pushed it open. The air came in heavy, filled with a strong smell of mold, rust, and a faint hint of something undefinable, almost metallic. My footsteps echoed between the dust-covered tracks and scattered trash. The walls, covered in graffiti and old scribbles, seemed to watch me, silent witnesses to the time that dragged on there. The feeling of being watched grew with every step I took. The silence was heavy, almost suffocating, until a distant sound broke the stillness. It was a siren, faint, intermittent, coming from the far end of the tunnel, like a distant, dragging call. At first, I thought it was some forgotten alarm, an automatic security trap to keep intruders away. But the sound didn't stop, and it had a strange rhythm, not a continuous ring, but spaced pulses, almost like it was trying to communicate. My heart raced, not with fear, but with a rush of adrenaline mixed with curiosity and apprehension. Slowly, I walked toward the sound, my flashlight trembling in my hand. The closer I got, the colder and denser the air became, as if the tunnel itself was breathing a macabre life. Then, the red light appeared at the end of the corridor. It was a small control room, abandoned, where an old device flickered with a crimson glow. But I wasn't alone there. From the shadows, a figure emerged. A woman, or what looked like a woman. She wore a long dress made of heavy, old fabric, stained and torn, as if she had emerged from another era. Her wet hair dripped down her pale face, and her eyes, those eyes, shone with a light that was not human. A mix of deep sadness and something threatening. The red glow reflected on her translucent skin, giving her a ghostly aura. The siren intensified, becoming a sharp, piercing sound that reverberated through the entire tunnel, making the walls vibrate. The woman slowly raised her arms, as if inviting me, or maybe warning me. When she spoke, her voice didn't come from her throat as words, but as a melodic, disturbing lament, a call that seemed to cut through the very air. My body froze. My instincts screamed at me to run, but my legs refused to obey. The figure began to move toward me, gliding silently across the floor, while the siren echoed endlessly, filling the space and my mind with a primal fear. I looked back to run, but the path I had come from had vanished. In place of the tunnel, there was only absolute darkness, a void with no end. The woman reached out her hand to me, her gaze fixed, piercing, as if she knew all my darkest secrets. The feeling that something terrible was about to happen consumed me. And then, the siren stopped. Silence returned, heavier than before. Since that night, the siren haunts me. At the most unexpected moments, I hear its distant call, a sound that makes me freeze. Remember the tunnel and that woman lost among the shadows. I know she is still there, waiting, and that one day, somehow, I will have to answer her call. But until then, all I can do is listen to the siren in the underground and pray I'm not. But until then, all I can do is listen to the siren in the underground and pray I'm not the next to disappear into the depths of oblivion. Since that encounter, my life has never been the same. My name is Lucas. I'm 28 years old, and I work as an urban photographer. I've always liked to capture the city in ways few notice: the ruins, the abandoned places, the dark corners where forgotten stories hide. This passion led me to the tunnel of the old station, but it also opened a door I should never have touched. The woman I saw that night, she didn't seem of this world. I tried to name her in my mind. The Siren, I thought, for her voice sounded like a hypnotic song, half melancholic, half threatening. But she wasn't just an apparition. It was as if she was trapped there, waiting for someone, maybe me. In the weeks that followed, I began to feel a presence. It was subtle at first. Shadows moving at the edge of my vision. Whispers I couldn't understand. At night, my dreams were invaded by that siren. A call dragging me down to the underground, to that dark and red control room. And she appeared there, always the same, her eyes glowing with that ghostly red light. Her dress, wet and ragged, trailed along the floor, while her hair seemed made of a liquid shadow that endlessly dripped. I started researching the station's history. I found out that nearly 50 years ago, a woman named Elisa worked there as a subway operator. She mysteriously disappeared on a rainy night, leaving no trace. Authorities closed the case, claiming it was an accident. But rumors spoke of something much darker. Witnesses said that on the night she vanished, a strange siren sounded in the tunnel, and Elisa was last seen talking to a shadowy figure near the control room. Now, I was trapped in the same story. The siren seemed to be calling me to complete something she couldn't. One night, I decided to return to the tunnel. I wasn't ready, but something inside me wouldn't let go. I took a recorder to try to capture the siren's sound. A powerful flashlight and an old amulet I found at Elisa's site. A pendant shaped like a key, as if it was an invitation to unlock hidden secrets. When I arrived, the air was colder than before, as if time had frozen there. The siren sounded again, faint and distant, but clearly audible. My hand shook as I walked toward the control room where she had appeared. There she was, the spectral figure, still watching me with those glowing red eyes. The siren's sound grew louder, filling the air like a sonic storm. She reached out to me. This time, it wasn't an invitation. It was a plea. I felt a deep pain in my head, a mix of fear, sadness, and an uncontrollable urge to understand. That's when I heard her voice, clear but broken by time and pain. Help me, free me. I didn't know what freeing her meant, but I knew I was caught in something much bigger than myself. Since then, the nights have become even harder. The siren echoes in my mind. The woman appears closer and closer in my dreams, and sometimes, when I close my eyes, I feel she is beside me, waiting for me to find the key to free her, or to be consumed forever.